Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 5:30, a man is injured after UK police say he was robbed and pistol whipped. We'll have details on that coming up.
Also on WKYT This Morning today, we'll find out if those involved in a shots fired incident on the UK campus over the weekend will be criminally charged.
2 Martin County firefighters were injured when their fire truck fell through a bridge. These stories and breaking news as it happens on WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you and welcome. It's so nice to have you along with us here early on this Tuesday, the last day of September. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks so much for being here. It's feeling pretty good out there and not too shabby, really.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. For the day ahead, we do have some fog in some of our area this morning with reduced visibility. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. That's going to be your main issue. We do have some fog down toward the south, southeast. That's where we're going to see the most widespread. You can have some patchy fog outside of the south and southeast, but the most dense is going to be down toward that region. Lexington, look at the lights of Hamburg off in the distance. Things look pretty good. London getting a little fog there. Frankfurt not so much, and Richmond not so much as of right now, but it is cool. You saw lower 50s. Now, as we go toward the afternoon, sitting there around that 80-degree reading, and you can see no rain in our forecast again today. We head throughout the next couple of days. It gets warmer and warmer, and then here comes that blasting cold front sweeping everything away. If you wanted that taste to fall, you're going to get it, and I'll show you that coming up.
All right, we'll see you in a bit, Micah, and let's get to the news. Police now believe that 4 UK football players were involved in a shots-fired incident that caused a scare on the campus over the weekend.
They've been suspended from the game this Saturday. Today, we'll find out if they and others will be charged. WKYT's Sean Moody is live from Commonwealth Stadium with the latest details on this.
Well, good morning, Rebecca. Today, UK police plan to meet with the county attorney's office to find out if any charges will be filed. The night of the incident, UK police told us that whoever fired the shots could face terroristic threatening and wanton endangerment charges. Now, when Kentucky plays South Carolina on Saturday, freshmen Dorian Baker, Drew Barker, Tymir Dubose, and Stanley Williams will not be playing. Coach Stoops suspended them after the incident, saying, quote, "If we have a situation in which someone who does not act according to our standards, we hold them accountable." Now, the situation he's referring to is the incident near the Kerwin Blending dorm complex on Sunday night when students reported hearing shots fired. UK police swarmed the area searching for a shooter while students were locked down for a couple of hours. Yesterday, police released surveillance pictures of people they wanted to talk to about the incident, and not long after that, police said they'd found the 4 and UK Athletics announced the suspensions. It turns out UK police say those shots came from an airsoft gun, but students said those initial moments were still frightening.
A lot of fear in hearing the gunshots, a lot of fear in, thinking that you're going to get shot.
UK police tell us that they did find 1 airsoft gun and 2 BB guns after the incident. UK campus officials say that guns of any kind are prohibited on campus. Live in Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
All right, Sean, thank you.
In another crime alert on UK's campus, a man was injured when he was robbed by 3 men and pistol whipped.
UK police issued that crime bulletin this morning, and WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is live on the UK campus with the latest information we have. Good morning, Whitney.
Good morning. UK police issued a crime alert early this morning after a robbery was reported on campus. The alert states that around 11:15 last night, a man who is not a UK student or employee was walking on East Maxwell Street across from the Max K. German House and Cultural Center. That's when 3 men with handguns walked up to the victim and demanded his wallet and cell phone. After giving up those items, one of the suspects then struck the man with a gun. Police say the 3 robbers then took off and ran away from campus. The first of those suspects is described as a light-skinned black man in his late 20s wearing a blue hooded sweatshirt, light-colored pants, and glasses. The second suspect is described as a heavy-set, light-skinned black man in his late 20s with hazel eyes. The third is also a light-skinned black man in his late 20s wearing a gray shirt. Now, if you have any information about this latest robbery, call UK Police or Lexington Police. Live in Lexington, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
The Fayette County Public School Superintendent says he hopes to make changes regarding general contractors. Dr. Tom Shelton says staff will look into making general contractors hire more minority and female-owned subcontractors on school construction projects. According to our news partners at the Lexington Herald-Leader, a subcontractor brought up the issue at yesterday's school board meeting. The board has committed to increase minority and women-owned business contracts by 10%.
5:34 now on WKYT this morning, and a quick-moving fire ravaged part of a Richmond motel, and now firefighters have an idea of what may have caused it. The fire damaged multiple rooms of the Country Hearth Inn off the Eastern Bypass Monday afternoon. After a few hours on scene, firefighters found a hot plate inside the room where the fire started. They tell us they believe this could be what caused the fire. One couple lost their home in the fire.
Now I don't think we got nowhere to go because this place right here is condemned now.
The whole sky was black. Flames shooting out of the top of the roof.
Investigators with the State Fire Marshal's office will be at the motel later today to determine the official cause of the fire.
Well, Lexington city leaders tell us they're prepared to take extra steps to make sure a bar shuts down. Last week, the city's Board of Adjustment revoked the art bar's conditional use permit. That means the bar on Euclid Avenue was supposed to close immediately. But city leaders say the bar ignored the move and opened anyway this weekend.
It's a non-criminal issue, but it is a civil violation, and we are exploring all legal measures that we have in order to enforce that Board of Adjustment revocation.
And city leaders say they may look into possibly fining the art bar if it stays open. Many people in the neighborhood have complained about this particular bar, saying it's caused problems. Patrons like leaving trash in their yards, things like that. Police say it often stayed open a lot later than it was allowed to. The art bar's owner, Gerald Mack, did not want to comment.
A bizarre story out of Louisville. Police say they found a woman alive in the trunk of a car. She had been reported missing 3 days ago. Witnesses say a group of people walking nearby heard a noise coming from the trunk and called police. They used a brick to break open a window of the car and open up the trunk. The woman was then taken to the hospital. Police say she had a broken arm and was severely dehydrated. Louisville police are not sure how she ended up there. They also say they don't know who did this to her. 2 Martin County firefighters say they are lucky to be alive after their fire truck fell through a bridge and right into a creek.
The Warfield volunteer firefighters were on their way to a house fire when the bridge on Blackburn Cemetery Road closed, or collapsed, I should say. Gregory Alley, the driver, helped Rhonda Estep escape while he was trapped with the water rising. Both were emotional and shaken after the incident. Both made it out with the help of other first responders.
I was thinking about my daughter and my son, actually. I had just gotten off the phone with my daughter not 30 minutes prior to, and it just broke my heart that she may not get to talk to me again.
Ali suffered a torn rotator cuff while Estep has several torn muscles. A West Virginia coal billionaire has sold most of his Central Kentucky farm. Our news partners at the Herald Leader say Jim Justice sold most of the farm in Harrisburg to a family in Texas. The deal's worth about $26 million. Justice bought the 5,500 acres of land 3 years ago. He says the farm was a satellite operation and the logistics of moving people and equipment was just too much.
A Texas hospital is isolating a patient who they believe may have Ebola. Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas is evaluating the patient now. An official says the patient had been in an area where the Ebola virus exists recently. They would not say where the patient had traveled. The CDC expects preliminary results at some point today.
Well, many major companies are hiring for the holidays, and Lexington police want you to know they're also looking for a few good recruits. Lexington Division of Police is still accepting applications for folks who want to become police officers. While the application process began a while ago, there's still room for more applications. The deadline is October 22nd. For more information about the hiring process, you can go to lexingtonky.gov.
Some Kentucky National Guard soldiers put their strength behind a good cause. Sergeant Dallas Robinson and his team set a weightlifting goal of 1 million pounds in 24 hours. They began lifting weights at a Nicholasville gym on Monday. Robinson hopes the challenge will raise awareness for preventing suicides among those in the military.
This is just a symbol of a bunch of soldiers coming together, and obviously our sums of each of us added together far greater than any one of us individually.
The team met their 1 million pound weightlifting goal in just under 6 hours. Sergeant Robinson is also an Olympian. You may remember that. He was on the U.S. bobsled team during the Sochi Olympics. So quite the athletic specimen he is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Time this morning is 5:39 as we check live drive traffic this morning and see what's going on your Tuesday. Here's Nicholasville and alumni, and it's looking pretty good. No reports of any major problems or delays this morning. There is a traffic advisory already in place coming up Friday and for the rest of most of October, as we'll be, of course, having the opening day of Keeneland and those Keeneland fall meets going on. So keep in mind to expect additional traffic on Versailles Road especially. A lot more news coming up for you here on your Tuesday morning. Hope you'll stay with us.
Well, you may have tried some fried derby pie or fried hot brown at the Kentucky State Fair, but wait until you hear some more fried delicacies. We'll have more up next.
Mine's the fried Snickers. I don't know about you, but that's some good stuff. Live sky camera. There is your shot outside. Crystal clear morning in some parts. Some parts seeing a lot of fog down toward the south and the east. Beautiful couple of days, and then here comes that cold front. I'll show you those numbers coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
That's pretty cool out there this morning. We're sitting in the 50s, no 40s, but still lower 50s this time of year, still on the cool side. 52 there in Danville, Richmond, Mount Sterling. If you look across the bluegrass, that's where we're seeing the cooler air. You have some fog down toward the south. That doesn't really allow you, excuse me, to drop that much with that moisture out there. So, yeah, 57 in Somerset, London. We're close to 60 degrees down toward the southeast. No fog here. It looks beautiful. I mean, around the bluegrass, I don't see any issues whatsoever as you see the lights of Hamburg. But everywhere else down toward the south and the southeast, that's where you're dealing with that. So if you're traveling across the Hal Rogers Parkway, Mountain Parkway, heading up through Campton, and all the way, maybe even the Cumberland Parkway, around Lake Cumberland, no doubt about it. Even if you're not in this dense fog advisory until 10 a.m., it doesn't mean you're not going to see fog. That just means, well, it's not as widespread or it's not as dense over toward the southeast. So that's what the National Weather Service out of Jackson has said. Yeah, that's the area that we really need to be watching out for. So just heads up for that. That's your issue this morning. By the afternoon, we get rid of it, and it looks great. I mean, right around 80 degrees. Pretty much what you saw yesterday where we finished off in the lower 80s is what you're going to be seeing today. So it's all in all not a bad day in store. We go through tomorrow morning, and there you are, another cool start to the morning. You talk about a chilly weekend forecast. Saturday, check this out. These are your high temperatures. 59 degrees on Saturday. That's your high. That's well below average, about 15, 16 degrees below average. And that 20% chance of rain is just that wraparound moisture as that system rolls on through. So you're not going to get a lot of rain out of that. You're going to get some sprinkles here and there, maybe a light shower at best. But it's all about the temperatures this weekend. And we have a lot of events going on, too, along with the UK football game. And if you're going out to that, you better bundle up, not just during the day, but remember, it's an evening ball game. Yeah, it's going to be a bit chilly. Sunday, 65. That's still way on the cool side. At least we're not seeing any rain there in the forecast. Check out this picture. How cool is this? From Lena Williams. Beautiful shot of that sunset out at Lake Cumberland. You got to absolutely love that. I always ask you, send in your pictures. I'd love to show them off for you. And that's Lena Williams from Lake Cumberland area down in southern Kentucky. Beautiful shot, Lena. We appreciate it. 7-day forecast next few days look good. That 20% chance of rain on Thursday is mainly during the evening and nighttime hours, so it's not a big issue. So really the next 3 days we stay dry. 84 degrees there on Thursday. And then watch this. That November air comes blasting on in. And that's going to be right there with that cold front on Friday. Now, unfortunately, we have Keeneland kicking off Friday. We have the Festival of a Horse there in Georgetown on Friday. We got the Kentucky Apple Festival in Paintsville. That's a big event. That's on Friday, too. And unfortunately, it's going to be pretty soggy. The fortunate part about that is that once that pushes on through, then we have a good-looking weekend in store. But it will be downright chilly. Get ready for it because those overnight lows may be even in the upper 30s.
Bring it on, is what I say.
Yeah, bring it on. Why not?
Ready for it.
Transition, right?
There you go.
Thank you, Micah. It's 5:46 now.
Lemonade, s'mores, Coca-Cola, and grilled cheese.
One thing that those things all have in common is that they've been fried up at the Texas State Fair, and frying everything in sight is earning vendors some big bucks. A spokesperson at the Texas Fair site says 4 to 5 vendors usually gross more than $1 million a year. In addition, vendors can compete in the Big Texas Choice Awards competition, and if they win, they get a PR boost. One vendor has spent all year perfecting fried s'mores, lemonade, and pumpkin pie.
Lemonade. I'm going to have to do a refresher on how you
would fry lemonade.
Fry lemonade.
I don't know. You'd think you'd have to have a grease or something in it. I don't know, make it go. All right, time this morning is 5:47.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news at this hour.
We'll be checking traffic again, see how things are moving along. We'll also have some health news and what's hot on the web and social media. Hey, it's sure good to have you with us here on WKYT This Morning. Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT This Morning. Our time is now 5:50.
Let's take a look now at some of the stories we're working on at this hour.
Busy morning. New this morning, police looking for 3 men who they say robbed another man and pistol whipped him. The man was robbed on East Maxwell Street about 11 o'clock last night. UK police say the man was approached by 3 other men, all of them armed with handguns. The 3 demanded money and his phone and then hit him with a gun and took off.
4 UK football players won't be able to play in this Saturday's game against South Carolina after police say they've been implicated in a shots fired incident on UK's campus over the weekend. It happened Sunday night near the Kerwin-Blanding dorm complex. UK police swarmed the area looking for a shooter. They later looked through surveillance footage and identified the 4. They also found an airsoft gun. We'll find out today if the men will be criminally charged.
As the U.S. and allies continue airstrikes against ISIS militants in Iraq and Syria, officials with the U.S. Air Force say the militants are adjusting their strategies, dispersing themselves and traveling in smaller groups. Last night, ISIS released a 3rd propaganda video showing British journalist John Cantley, who appeared to be reading from a script criticizing the U.S. airstrikes.
The director of the Secret Service will face some tough questions today on Capitol Hill. He'll discuss the September 19th incident in which a man carrying a knife scaled the fence at the White House and then entered the executive mansion and ran into the East Room before being caught. CBS News learned that Omar Gonzalez brushed past one armed agent and overpowered another, far more than what the Secret Service had originally reported. The head of the FAA has ordered a security review of backup plans for air traffic control facilities after a suicidal man set a fire Friday that destroyed equipment inside the Chicago Area Control Center, specifically in Aurora. More than 400 flights were canceled Monday and almost 4,000 since Friday. Delays are expected to continue for another 2 weeks on flights in and out of Chicago's main airports.
Well, there's been so much impact from that across the nation that that's why they want to look into is there a way to do a backup system.
Yeah, and even at Bluegrass Airport there have been cancellations since Friday. Well, a new study shows a link between antibiotics and childhood obesity that tops this morning's health headlines.
Researchers at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia studied data on tens of thousands of children. They found kids under 2 who took antibiotics to fight multiple bacteria were more likely to be overweight or obese by the age of 4. And when it comes to treating headaches, fibromyalgia, and chronic low back pain, consider staying away from opiates. That's according to the American Academy of Neurology. The group warns the risk of death, overdose, and addiction far outweighs any benefits. Studies show half of patients taking opiates such as oxycodone and hydrocodone for at least 3 months are still taking them 5 years later.
New research shows information is lacking on implanted medical devices. Companies that make hip implants and other FDA-cleared surgical devices are legally required to submit data on safety and effectiveness. But researchers at the National Center for Health Research say that is not happening. They're urging the FDA to do a better job enforcing the law. 5:54 is the time. Let's get a check at this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at some live drive traffic. Things moving along fine there at Nicholasville and Shady Lane. No issues to report. Minimal traffic out there, really. Future traffic alert to pass on for you. In addition to slow traffic during Keeneland, the fall meet that starts Friday, this Sunday, the Lexington Fire Prevention Festival and Parade will make for slow traffic downtown. Midland Avenue will be closing at 5 p.m. and Main Street will close at 5:45 between Midland Avenue and Mill Street. And now we're checking what's making news online this morning. Bill joins us with what's happening on the web.
Yeah, it's 5:54 and we have all the latest for you at WKYT.com. You can find out more about the suspensions of 4 UK football players after shots were fired on campus. UK police and prosecutors to meet today and decide how to go forward. We're also following up on that extensive fire that damaged a Richmond motel. The investigators are to be on site today. We have a dense fog advisory for many of our southeastern sections of the viewing area. Otherwise, Micah says we'll have another nice day. An afternoon high around 80 degrees or so with a lot of sunshine. All this ahead of major changes coming, starting with showers Friday and much cooler temperatures, it looks like, heading into the weekend. WKYT investigates how some teachers are turning to alternative sources to fund supplies for their classrooms. Many times they pay for things out of their own pockets, and now some are turning to crowdsourcing websites to ask for money. One Clark County teacher trying to get money for a small carpet for her students to sit on so she can teach lessons. We'll have an incredible voter turnout if it's anything like those taking our web poll. Nearly 87% say they plan to vote in the November election. We'll see if that holds up. Billionaire Jim Justice has sold a farm that he purchased in central Kentucky. A Texas family has bought the 4,700-acre farm for about $26 million. Kentucky.com has details on that and the reasons he says he is selling. And CBS This Morning will be following us at 7 with world and national news and, of course, our local updates. Join us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. And for the latest news anytime, WKYT.com. 5:56 now as we check in with Micah.
Yeah, and I like the look this morning. Most of us staying dry, most of us sitting there without any fog. As you can see, the lights of Hamburg crystal clear out there this morning, so I don't see any issues across the Bluegrass region, except for it's a little cool. Now, if you're looking for fog, remember where you saw some rain yesterday or the day before? That means you have a little bit of moisture on the ground. Those clear skies, that allows that fog to develop, and you can see it over toward the east and down toward the southern zones. Heads up for that if you're traveling across I-75. I don't see much there in the Bluegrass nor northbound. Sitting there in the 50s, it's kind of cool outside. So you might want to throw on a light little coat as those kiddos get out the door. Sitting there in the 50s, finish off in the 80s, and that goes for the next few days until we hit that big-time cold front. Check out that shot at MSU out in Moorhead. It's pretty foggy there. We'll have more coming up just another couple of minutes.